Hey guys, everything new in the sun here. I've got my Sky Warrior K70C quadcopter, and I just want to give you guys a close-up look at some of this and show you what I've broken, what I think of it, and a few little things here and there about my first quadcopter. I've never, I think before I got this one, I flew tiny quadcopters in a house 2 or 3 times, and that's it. So I'm a super newbie. I crashed a million times. I want to go over some of the finer points that I've not seen in the other videos. So you got your standard, where's the camera there? Your standard knobs, obviously. Up here is, this is your headless mode. This is your return to home, which I've actually not tried yet. I've not had a non-windy day. Here's your high-low. I've already used that because I had to fight the wind, and I've not done any flips yet. Now down here, it looks like a rolly button. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a fake button. It does not do anything. It doesn't roll or anything. Down here you got your photo and your video camera. I don't know if that's focusing or not. Doesn't look like it. And down here is your lights. You can turn the lights on and off. And then you got your LCD screen here. I'll turn it on so that you can see what it looks like there. It's got your trim levels. I'm going to turn that off so it doesn't keep beeping. But what it had on it was it actually showed your trim levels, rudder, and your yaw and all that good stuff. I don't know what it's all called, but anyways, it shows it all there, and it shows the signal as well. And does it have a battery indicator? Yeah, it has a battery indicator on it as well. Another close look at it. The battery indicator is over here, and the signal's right there. It's doing that because I don't got the battery in the quadcopter. The trims work fine. It's a fairly cheap feeling, sort of. It's very light, even with the batteries in it. Obviously, this has batteries. And note, it has no antenna on it. So a mod quickly coming up for range would be to open this up and get the antenna coming out the top, or maybe even fit a regular Wi-Fi antenna on the top of it. My son has already dropped this on the floor, and so from that point of view, it's not bad. Looks like there's some fake trim buttons there, but these trim buttons all work fine on the front there. And it just says 2.4 gig. And takes, I think it's 4 batteries in here. Yeah, and I didn't even, where's the camera there? I didn't even, I don't even put the screw in. All these things have, all these doors have screws on them, like the battery door on the quadcopter. But I don't use it. I don't know why you need to on the controller, to be honest. But yeah, otherwise it's a fine controller. It does what it needs to. I don't find myself looking at the LCD unless I want to look at the trim levels. Interesting to see where they are, so that's kind of cool. Look at the quadcopter here. You can see that it's already missing a guard. I completely broke that off. You can see there. Can you see it? Where it's just you know, pieces busted off. So I probably need to take that out. I've got the other 3 on, but I've broken. Well, this one's broken here. Can you see that? Where is this? Broken there, and you can't really see that. Anyways, yeah, there it is. It's broken off there. And I think, oh yeah, this one's broken off. So this may be partially due to the fact that it was -9 degrees outside, which makes the plastic brittle, obviously more brittle than it normally would be. Going around to the bottom, you'll see that my first mod was to take the existing little dampener and camera off. This camera is super cheap. It's just got, it is powered by the LiPo in the quadcopter, and obviously it turns on and off and is powered by the onboard LiPo. The problem I had, your little micro SD goes in there. Let's see if I can get it here for you. You get this USB adapter for it, so that works. And this is, you get a good sized card. This is a 4 GB card. Okay, it's probably not going to focus on that. Of course it doesn't. Anyway, it's a 4 GB card and it's pretty good, but it goes in the side here. And one of the problems was it actually.
Alert from disk not ejected properly.
Okay, didn't like that I pulled that out of the USB. The card got jammed in here, I think from a crash, and I actually had to open this housing up. That's why I have the camera out. I actually had to open it up and take it right out of the circuit board that's in there. So it's a super cheap camera. It is very light, but the quality is really lousy. I'll try and maybe plug in one of the videos that I had. If you watch my other videos, it'll be in there, but just for a comparison to the video. Now the video you're watching this on is actually only 640 by 480. It's just the webcam in my iMac, so nothing spectacular there. The reason I didn't shoot it in any higher res is because I want to show you my Garmin Virb underneath. So this is my mod that I did. I put the Garmin Virb here. Well, I actually just stuck it right on with its own sticky clamp. It's just a peel and stick kind of clamp there. Can't really see that for the light, but there it is. I totally unscrewed the existing stuff, undercarriage, and I put this on here, and it fits fine. You know, it fits in between, and it's fairly centered in terms of payload. Let's see if I can get it. That's what it looks like there. Here's right side up. So you just turn the video upside down and it works fine. However, this Garmin Virb is very heavy. Like I don't know, it's like half a pound. It's very heavy. It's kind of ridiculous, you know, compared to this thing. The Garmin Virb is well, this Hawkeye thing is feather light compared to the Garmin Virb, and so the Sky Warrior had trouble lifting it. What else to say here? The battery compartment is just about the right size for the battery, so you can't put a bigger battery in there. Although, and here's another thing that has a screw on it. The compartment cover, let's see, where are we here? Goes in there, and obviously there is a screw that you can put in the bottom to lock it. There you can kind of see it. I don't use that, but I crashed once and it came out. So if you're not crashing, you know, it'll probably be fine. Now, one thing I noticed about this battery cover is if you look at it, it has slots on it. You can just see the slots, and it almost looks like they're little latches which could be used for the Cyma FPV kit. I was looking at that, and there's a couple of attachments where you can attach the Cyma FPV kit on a couple of different versions of the Cyma quadcopters, I guess. And this compartment cover has no other purpose for those little hooks being there, little latches being there, other than I can assume maybe it's a similar cover to the Cyma, or maybe they had envisioned. Well, actually, I guess this comes with an FPV kit, so maybe that's where it comes from. Now that I think about it, there is an FPV version, which I guess that probably clips on there. Duh. So yeah, I think the Cyma kit would probably just plug right in there. Worst case scenario, I'll just glue it on, but that would be the next step for me, obviously, once I learn how to actually fly the thing. But all in all, like it's crashed many times. I've not broken a blade yet, although this blade is pretty dirty. But as you can see, these are pretty bendy blades. So these are pretty durable, I think. So I mean, it's probably best that I didn't get some you know, fancy, expensive a quadcopter with really rigid blades on it, really rigid, aggressive blades, because I would have just destroyed it. Now, in terms of the light on this thing, these things all flash, and you will have seen them in my other videos. They're flashing all over the place, and for no reason. I kind of think it's a little goofy. I don't see any purpose to it, and to be honest, a number of flights I just shut them off because they don't do any good during the day. I don't know that they show you your orientation very well. I mean, with the layout of this thing, it's fairly easy to know that this is the front. It's fairly obvious when you're flying which is the front. The front's flat and the back is out like that. So that's what I would say about that. These legs here seem flimsy, but they are actually well, they are flimsy, but they've stood up very well to very many crash landings. So I gotta give to the landing gear here They're pretty durable, and they actually got little rubber tips that you can put on them. I don't know why they add the extra rubber tips. You could probably take that off. I don't think, maybe when landing on concrete or something, maybe they help you not slip, but I'm on grass anyway, so I could actually probably remove those to get rid of some of the weight, and that would probably help it. Actually, I should probably do that and try lifting the Garmin Verb once I get all this extra weight off it, and that would probably do be half the battle for the weight. The other thing for weight is I probably don't need this Garmin Verb thing on there. I could probably stick it on with elastics, maybe tie this onto the undercarriage with elastics or something, and not use this big get up. This is a little too official and sturdy for what I really want to do with it. In terms of the noise, I don't have anything to compare it to, so the noise isn't too loud for me. And it looks like you can fully get into these pods here, which means you can replace the motors, and I will probably have to do that. I'm probably going to smash everything on here in the next couple of weeks. I have no doubt as I'm learning from scratch how to fly quadcopters. I've not actually taken off the plastic here. One thing I noticed is that even when you press down on the plastic, this button turns itself on. I don't think that's intended. I think that's just a side effect of the how the button is. It's just a little circuit board in here. You probably can't see it, but the little circuit board standalone from the actual motherboard of the thing, which is kind of in this section here. And if you put it upside down and rest it on something, the fuselage will actually depress this button and turn it on inadvertently. So that's something to think about. What I will at least do is give this another go. This little Hawkeye, well, not the Hawkeye, but I'm actually going to give the casing another go and probably reattach this. But I'll probably get the knockoff GoPro. I forget what you call it. It's a J6000 or something like that. And it's a much better quality, obviously, than this. This is the cheapest thing. It's supposedly 720p, but the quality is just so grainy. It's even far worse than the simple webcam on my iMac. So I'll probably I'm going to replace it. The other thing is, I had an absolute boatload of trouble getting this to stay on. So there's a video button here, and when you press that video button, the front of your quadcopter lights up. These guys blink on the front here, blink green, but there's no indication to show that it is actually continuously recording. So I flew this 4 or 5 times, literally, for the life of the battery, and I tried different combinations, and I never once got more than I think a 10-second video. It would shut off. I would crash, and maybe the quadcopter shut off and it would lose its video. I don't get it. I think it's it's nice that it's powered by the LiPo, but I prefer having a standalone camera that you just turn on, and then in post-processing you go cut off the end so that people don't see it sitting there, or you don't see it sitting there before you get it going, if you know what I mean. You just kind of cut to the action, cut off the non-action stuff. But I much prefer this because I can tell if this is going, because the flash is red, and there's indication when this button is forward. I know it's recording 100%. Whereas when this thing is recording, there's no indication. There's no beeping. There's no flashing, like continuous flashing lights. There's no indicator that I can tell on the screen to suggest that the video is actually recording. And then apparently, if you shut it down or it crashes, the quadcopter, if it shuts itself down by crashing, which it did, every time I crashed, it seemed to shut itself off, and maybe that's because the fuselage pushes the button. But apparently, if you don't shut it down properly, you lose all the video on your card, and so maybe that's what happened. But I had a horrible time getting this to videotape. Like I said, I didn't get one video, so it is absolutely not intuitive. I'm obviously doing something completely wrong. Some sequence. I'm pressing record before I actually, fully, what's the word? Bind it to the controller or something, and it shuts itself off. I absolutely don't get it. But yeah, it was not recording anything more than a couple seconds of video, which was completely useless. But the video I did get from this was pretty lousy anyway. So that is a close look at the Deng Sky Warrior K70C quadcopter. I just want to give you a bit of a closer look at it than maybe what some other videos had of it, just so you get an idea, and also go over some of the things that I thought about it. You know, I've crashed it 15-20 times already in 4 flights, so I probably have a good reason to give some opinion on it. I'm certainly not an experienced quadcopter flyer at all, but there are some things about this I noticed already off the bat that I would change. And you know, it's a toy quadcopter, so what do you expect? You don't expect anything super duper amazing, but that being said, there are some improvements they could make in version 2 of this, and I'm sure they will be making it. And I was thinking, as a noob, I was thinking the option, and I guess it would be a GPS option, the option to hover in place or pause, like the what is it, the Phantom, JDI Phantom, whatever it does, where you can just kind of press a pause button and it just hovers in midair for you until you figure out what to do. That would come in handy, because a couple of times I panicked when I was up high in the air and the wind was blowing and flew into a tree. And now luckily this thing fell from probably 30 feet in the air, and nothing really bad happened to it. I don't even think I might have snapped one of these guards during that particular crash. But other than that, it's a pretty sturdy quadcopter. And like I said in the other video, I don't know if I would suggest it for a newbie like myself. I've just been killing this thing, and I feel bad for it. But that being said, it seems like a pretty good toy grade quadcopter to me, for all my complete lack of experience. And you know, watch Quadcopter 101 for his experienced view of it and thoughts of it. But those are my thoughts about you know, the things I could improve going forward, the things that I found out just from my very short time flying it. And yeah, that's it. So hope you got some information that maybe you didn't get some from another channel or video. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I'm hoping to get some FPV equipment in the near future, and once I practice a bit more, and especially once summer rolls around and I get some proper weather here instead of -9°C. It's absolutely brutal on my fingers to be flying, and on this thing it's hard on the guards because it makes it brittle, and I'm sure it's hard on the motors and everything else, you know, let alone me trying to fly that thing. So I'll be doing lots more. I want to do some flight overs of my house and of our area here, some high altitude tests and some range tests. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys in the next video.